Let's face it, not everyone likes it when you start respecting yourself. Because when you truly respect yourself, you don't argue, you don't over-explain, you don't stay in situations that drain you. And that changes the entire dynamic of relationships. Some people think respecting yourself means going to the gym, booking a spa day, or getting your hair done. And yes, those can be acts of self-respect. But today, we are talking about what respecting yourself actually looks like, the internal choices, the quiet boundaries, the way you stop betraying yourself, and why the people around you may not like it when you start doing it. Hi, everyone. My name is Esther Bartkiw. For over 21 years, I've been helping people remember who they truly are beneath everything that they've been told, taught, and conditioned to be, so that they can live as their true self, untamed and free. If you appreciate content on personal and spiritual growth, please give this video a like. All right, guys, so what respecting yourself actually looks like beyond the obvious. Let's address this piece first. Yes, respecting yourself can look like taking care of your body, prioritizing sleep, saying no, and not doing people-pleasing. But that's not where it ends. That's where self-respect begins. Real self-respect is often quiet, internal, and deeply uncomfortable at first. It looks like walking away in silence instead of explaining yourself for the 10th time, letting someone misunderstand you rather than betraying yourself to be liked, feeling the urge to justify and then choosing not to, and not chasing closure from people who cannot meet you emotionally. Self-respect is when you stop asking, how do I keep the peace, and start asking, am I at peace with myself? And here's a deeper layer most people don't even talk about. Self-respect and emotional regulation. This is the part that most people avoid. I want to say something that may land for some of you, and if it does, just sit with it quietly and gently. If you truly respected yourself, would you be using food, alcohol, shopping, gambling, substances, or constant distraction to regulate emotions you don't want to feel? What I'm saying is not judgment. I have asked myself this same question to create awareness. Because self-respect isn't about achieving perfection. It's about honesty. It's noticing, well, I do say I respect myself, but I keep abandoning myself when I'm uncomfortable. Self-respect is about meeting your emotional needs consciously, instead of soothing yourself in ways that ultimately harm or disconnect you. When caught up in emotion, self-respect is asking yourself, what am I actually needing right now? Is it safety, rest, expression, reassurance? And learning to give yourself that instead of numbing yourself or looking for reassurance from other people. When you ask yourself that question, that is inner self-respect, and it changes everything. I worked with a client. I will call her Sarah for now. Sarah described herself as confident, capable, and self-respecting. But she was binge eating at night and over drinking on weekends and constantly exhausted. As we turned within to find out what was really happening inside of her, what became clear was this. She was deeply resentful towards people. She had never learned how to say no, only to say yes and people please. You see, the food and the wine weren't the problem. They were the relief valve. And when Sarah started respecting herself internally, which was setting boundaries, leaving conversations early, letting people be disappointed, those coping behaviors naturally softened. Not because she forced them to stop, but because she was no longer abandoning herself all day long and then needing a way to cope with all of that energy at night. But be prepared. Many people hate it when you start respecting yourself. And this is where things get really real. When you begin respecting yourself, people react. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because the dynamic of your relationship has changed. And here are some reasons people may not like it when you start respecting yourself. Number one, you're making things better for yourself. You're growing. You are self-improving. You are doing what they believe they can't or won't do. Your self-respect becomes a mirror. And not everyone wants to look into that mirror. Because when someone sees you choosing yourself, setting boundaries, regulating your emotions, walking away instead of reacting, they may hear an inner whisper that says, "Why am I not doing this for myself?" But instead of sitting with that question, the answer, and possible discomfort, they resent you or pull away. Number two, they lose access to you. You're no longer endlessly available, agreeable, or self-sacrificing, and that can feel like loss of control for them. Number three, you stop feeding drama. When you don't over-explain, argue, or react emotionally, people who thrive on chaos feel deprived. You've taken their fuel away. They get angry. Number four, you become harder to manipulate. Self-respect makes you less predictable and less controllable, and people who need control do not like it. Number five, you choose yourself. And if someone was used to being your priority, they may feel threatened when they're no longer at the center of your decisions and your attention. So how do you begin respecting yourself starting today? Let's make this practical with 3 ways to start respecting yourself that you can do right now. Number 1 is pause before you say yes. And if you don't feel a clear yes coming up, then your answer is no, or something like, at least let me think about it. Number 2, notice where you over-explain and experiment with stopping that as soon as you consciously catch yourself. Number 3, regulate instead of escape. And by escape, I don't mean something dramatic like rushing out of the room. I mean those small, socially acceptable ways that we escape and avoid ourselves, like scrolling and snacking when we're not hungry, pouring a drink to take the edge off, staying busy so that you don't have to feel. Instead of asking yourself, how do I make this feeling go away? Try asking something different. Ask yourself, what do I actually need in this moment? Do I need to rest? Do I need reassurance, space, expression, to cry, to move my body, to be alone for a few minutes without explaining myself? And then, this is the self-respect part. You give yourself that even in a small way. Because every time you meet yourself and your needs, instead of abandoning yourself, you're teaching your nervous system, I'm safe with me. And that quietly over time changes how you show up in every relationship. Now, what do you do when people push back? Because they will. Here are 3 respectful responses to them and respectful to you. You can say, this is what works for me right now. I'm choosing something different these days, and I understand this is an adjustment for you. No defensiveness, no justification, just grounded clarity. And remember, self-respect does not require their permission. As you're watching this video, you may be realizing something important, that it is time to respect yourself in order to receive respect from others, to stop people pleasing, to stand by your boundaries, to say no and mean it, to choose yourself without guilt. This is the work I have been supporting people with for over 2 decades, helping them break free from old patterns and rise up into their true self, their respecting self. If you feel called, you can check out my session package information below. And if we've never worked together before, please send me an email prior to booking so we can discuss the best next step for you. Oh, and before you go, take a look at the video that's popping up on your screen right now. It is a lovely complement to what we have talked about here today.